Peace to the peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Let me get a mic check real quick. All right. Today I'm going to do a review, and I'm picking out videos now that I think need to be discussed. This is going to be and these videos are going to be about honor, dishonor, the name, and things like that. You know, what's really interesting is people that come over to my channel and listen to me, but you don't listen to me. I've always told people there are 4 rules to the game. Rule number 1 is there isn't any money. Rule number 2 is there's a public and a private and they don't mix. Rule number 3 is you have to stay in honor at all costs. Rule number 4 is that do not participate in public controversy. And I'm gonna have to qualify rule number 3 and number 4. Because rule number 3, people don't have absolutely no understanding of what honor is. Being an honor means you can't go and drive 90 miles an hour through a school zone and think you're going to get off scot-free. Being honored means you don't mean you're going to shoot somebody or threaten somebody's life and think you're going to get off scot-free. Being an honor doesn't mean that you're going to take a child from the other parent because you feel like you got treated unfairly or something like that, and now you're trying to kidnap the child from the other parent. All right, none of these things were instituted to do any of that. As a matter of fact, divorce and all that stuff y'all dealing with children, that's ungodly anyway, because number 1, you shouldn't be having children out of wedlock, and number 2, you shouldn't be having a divorce. There's only one ground rule from God for divorce, and that is if there's adultery. That's it. If it's not any adultery, you don't have no grounds for a divorce. So you come in here looking for some sort of magic key from over here, and you're not going to find it over here. I'm the kind of person, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm a messenger, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Until you get yourself, you have to be an honorable individual. If you're not an honorable individual, if you don't honor your contracts, then no, you know what I'm saying? Your first contract that you have to have is with the creator of the boundless universe. It's called a covenant. The reason you have to have that is you have to tell the world how you're going to conduct yourself vis-a-vis with other human beings on this planet. What is your morality? Do you have a morality? If you don't have a morality, why are you over here? If you think it's okay to kill, if you think it's okay to commit adultery, if you think it's okay to steal, if you think it's okay to threaten other people, if you think it's okay, what you're not getting out of anything. One of the biggest words that I see in this movement is say, how can I get out of this? Just by you saying that, letting me know you ain't getting out of shit. That's why it's called acceptance for value. You have to accept it because you brought it on yourself. You're not getting out of a motherfucking thing. Now, does some incidents deserve you going to jail? No. You know, it doesn't deserve you going to jail. A lot of things, victimless crimes, I don't feel like you should be doing jail time for it. But when you actually commit an injury to someone, okay, it could be commercial in nature, but they're not going to make it easy for you. There ain't no magic keys where you just going to go in and say some magic words and things are going to magically disappear. If anybody's telling you that, they lying to you. In 20 years, I've never seen that. I've seen people get out of things, but only because they were very astute and very good at what they were doing. But I ain't seen no person just learn this yesterday, go into a courtroom and get out of shit, or last week, or last month. I ain't never seen that. I've never seen that. So I got a video right here. I got 2 videos. They're short videos. And I'm going to go through them real quick. The first one is a young lady, she doesn't want to answer to the name. And not answering to the name ain't worked in about 10 years. 10, 12 years, some shit like that. I don't even understand why it's still being circulated on the internet. They're going to issue a warrant for your arrest if you don't answer to the name. They figured out how to get around it. If you're not going to answer to the name, they're going to say, okay, you didn't make an appearance, I'm issuing a bench warrant. That's what's happening when you don't answer to the name. Don't ask nobody else. I'm sitting here telling you what it is. If you take your ass in these courts and you don't want to answer to that name, you're going to go to jail, okay? Or something, or you're going to get a default judgment against you or something like that. If you're going to be creative, this young lady, she tried to be creative, but the man came and asked her again and she didn't answer. Anytime you stand, you can never stand silent. Standing silent is a dishonor. Or you agree. Let's get the likes up before I begin. There's only 56 likes. Let's get it up to 100 likes before I begin. Let's get up to 100 likes. This helps. You know, when you like something, it helps, you know, it helps the channel grow, you know, by you liking the content. So let's get the likes up. If you're looking right now, let's get the likes up. Let's get it to 100. 157 people on here. So I'm not starting until we get to 100. All right, let's go. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so this is another sovereign citizen video. I got two that I'm going to do today because these are very short, but I think they make good teaching lessons. One actually, the second one actually, I think they did a very good job. I mean, I have some critique of it, but I think they did a very good job. The first one, I give her points for trying, but she was involved in some dishonorable activity. So let's look at it. Let's look at it. Y'all tell me what you think. Once again, I respect anyone who represents themselves in court. I'm not picking on anyone. All I do is kind of throw a dart at these videos. There's so many of these videos on the internet. I just throw a dart and hit one, and I just click on it and see what it's about. And then if it's talking about something pretty good, I'll play it. So this is not against anyone who's in any of these videos. If you know the people who are in these videos, I don't have nothing against them. This is a critique. This is for educational purposes only, so that I can give you the benefit of my experience. I have a lot of courtroom experience. I haven't been in court in a while, though, because I keep myself out of trouble. I don't get in trouble. I don't get into arguments with public servants or anything like that. So I haven't been in court in a while. But during the time where I was in a lot of trouble, I did spend a lot of time in court. And also I helped a lot of people with foreclosure cases and a lot of different things like that. So I say I have a lot of experience in court. All right. However, so I'm just going to give you the benefit of my experience. I'm not saying that everything I tell you is the end-all, be-all. Many men know many things. No man knows everything. That is a principle of law. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just giving you the benefit of my experience and also my years of being in this space and listening to other gurus and watching other gurus get in trouble and watching people get in trouble and watching people get out of trouble and, you know, things like that. You know, I'm just, you know, just giving you the benefit. All my experience wasn't necessarily me going. A lot of it was, but I did have the benefit of also examining other individuals too and things, because I haven't been in every type of situation. But we're going to look at this right here and let's see how it goes, you know. Let's see what they're talking about.
Next, we're in Ann Arbor, Michigan for a post-sentencing hearing. 37-year-old Shannon Phillips has not been making payments on the court-ordered restitution and court fees that were part of her sentence. 5.5 years earlier, Phillips got into a physical altercation with store owner Tyrone Curry about how much change he owed her from a lottery ticket purchase. Tyrone told police that Phillips went behind the counter and threw merchandise around the store. He also told him she had a gun in her pants and had threatened to shoot up the store. Phillips was arrested and charged with carrying a concealed weapon and malicious destruction of property. During a bench trial, she was found.
Okay, so here's the situation with this right here. Okay, you already see that she's involved in dishonorable activity. Yesterday, that judge, on that last video, that judge was talking to this person, talking about if nobody would ever go to jail or get prosecuted. This is the conundrum they're in, and the problem that they're having is that they're operating in a colorable system, but the challenge that they have is they got to deal with individuals who are dishonorable, people who kill people, people who rape people, people who rob people, and things like that. Are they just going to let everybody just get off? Then there would be, no law. Then there would be anarchy, and they're not going to let that happen. So I'm asking all of you to use your common sense. All right, if you're going to be a member of a society, there are going to be rules. Privacy means you have removed yourself from society. In such a way you're not participating in any benefits or privileges from government. And most people, they go out and get their own land, grow their own food, and do things like the Amish are doing. But if you're not doing something like the Amish is doing or something like that, okay, there are going to be some rules that you're going to have to follow. I don't operate. I think one of the biggest things that I hate is that people have given people the impression that they don't have to follow no laws whatsoever. And that's some bullshit. That's bullshit. That's why I keep telling people there's a public and a private. If you're in the public, you got rules you got to follow. So she doesn't committed an act of, she doesn't threaten somebody. She had a gun, tore up a store, got into a fight, and now you're looking to get out of something. You're looking to get out of something, out of some dishonorable behavior. Let's see how it goes.
Guilty of both charges by a judge. She was sentenced to 6 months in jail, followed by 3 years probation. She was also ordered to pay $4,300 in restitution to Tyrone for the damaged property. Phillips made regular payments for 3 years, but has fallen behind in the last year. She's paid less than half of the amount she owes to the victim. Today, Phillips is before Judge Patrick Conlon to address the outstanding payments.
Let's see if we can resolve this. Is Shannon Phillips or anyone representing her in court today? Ms. Phillips, are you there?
Okay, this is the wrong thing to do.
Who's identified as UCC 1-308, all rights reserved?
This is Shannon Phillips. She's chosen to log into the hearing as UCC 1-308, all rights reserved, and is not answering when the judge calls her name.
Okay, well, there's no response to the court's inquiry. It's 4:30 p.m. on July 13th.
We hear you now. Are you Ms. Phillips?
UCC 1-308, all rights reserved. I am here on the special visitation of the all caps name.
While Phillips has not identified herself as such, she appears to be employing tactics and reciting language from the playbook of sovereign citizens, many of whom believe that adding certain codes and all rights reserved to their names will protect them from prosecution.
Okay. I want to say something about the guy narrating this. The people who narrate these, it's like putting music with it and adding a narration. That right there, Ed, you got to ignore all of that shit, because all that shit is to program people's minds and everything. You know, they believe that they add, and you're going to see it more in this next video of how something else was happening in the court, but the narrator is painting a picture, making the people believe something else. And that's one of another reason why I started doing these reviews, because I saw how the narration was, you can tell that the liberals and the communists are out strong because they don't want any sovereigns or anything like that. Y'all got to understand, this is communism. The people that are attacking all of this, these are liberals. These are communists. These are Marxists. This is who your enemy is. You don't understand that. Your enemy, they have taken over your government. They've taken over your court system. You've allowed this to happen. And you're just sitting idly by, hating on Donald Trump and shit because he squeezed on a woman's ass. Just ridiculous. Anyway, this UCC 1-308, you really need to watch the UCC connection with Howard Freeman so he can explain how to use this and what you need to say. Any type of time you bringing up the all caps name and everything, you're going to immediately get labeled as a sovereign citizen. What I would suggest that you do is when you go in court is try to use language so they cannot classify you that way. You know, it's like, I'm here by special appearance, Your Honor. That's all you needed to say. Special appearance, you don't have to reserve your rights to anything. Just you make an appearance. I'm here especially, not generally, Your Honor, to contest the jurisdiction of the court, if that's what you want to say or something like that. She's going to spell her name, but watch what happens after she spelled her name. Watch what happens.
Who are you?
Okay. Seeing no response to my request, it's 4:30 p.m. The matter was scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Agent Miller, I will sign a bench warrant upon your submission. Failure to appear.
The judge is refusing to acknowledge Phillips until she identifies herself by her legal name.
My name is capital S, lowercase h, lowercase a, lowercase n, lowercase n, lowercase o, lowercase n.
Okay. Are you Shannon Phillips?
I am Shannon.
Judge Conlon is done playing the name game, so he wraps things up.
Okay. I'll sign the bench warrant when you issue it.
Okay. She almost got it right. She could have just said something. Yes, my name is Shannon and my family name is Phillips. And I would appreciate it that the court would stylize and recognize my name in the record in the Christian appellation of my name and not in all caps. Just say something like that. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to get a bench warrant. Because I'm going to tell you, if you get arrested, it is that much harder to do this in jail than when you're free. It is much harder. You're going to be trying to get people to send you paperwork. These sorry motherfuckers ain't going to do it because we live in a selfish world where people only think about themselves. So if you get arrested and you're looking for somebody to send you a lot of stuff in jail, you might as well forget that shit. That's not happening, okay, on no big level, okay? You can't get access to legal materials like you want. You got to sit in here with a whole bunch of dumb motherfuckers who ain't trying to do nothing. You know, you're going to make it that much harder for yourself. So the number one thing you want to do is not get arrested, okay? So the name shit, that shit hasn't, I'm not that name argument stopped working about 10 or 15 years ago. It's been a long time that hasn't been working. A long time. So if somebody's still out there telling you to do that, they don't know what they're talking about. They're listening to some old information. They don't know what they're talking about. I understand what you're trying to do is you're trying to separate yourself from the straw man, to let the people know that you're a real living soul, and that is the straw man. And there are many different creative ways of doing that, from signing your name, how you sign your name. But at the initiation of a proceeding, don't make that much of a big argument about the name. It's not so much of the name, but it is the office the name is occupying. Are you a beneficiary or a trustee? Do you have all the liability? You're making a special appearance. Making a special appearance means you're not subjecting yourself to the jurisdiction of the court, that you're here to contest that there are matters that need to be discussed, which at that point, I'm going to immediately go into my dialogue about, hey, look, Your Honor, when you ask these people this question, I'm going to tell you what it does. What it does is it kills a lot of that sovereign citizen shit because it exposes them. You got to expose these people because they are doing deception. Every judge knows the jurisdiction they're operating under. They sitting up there on that bench. They know what's going on, but they're going to play you like they don't. And that's why you have to ask questions. Like, Your Honor, look, man, I'll be more than happy to make an appearance in these matters. However, before I do so, I think we need to address some in personam or in rem jurisdiction questions as it relates to my status before this court, because I believe that this court is operating under a presumption that I have a certain status, all right? And as such, that would subject me to the jurisdiction of this court. So as such, under the authority of the Sixth Amendment for the Constitution of the United States of America, I would like to get some clarification on a couple of things, because it is my understanding that I have a protected right to know the nature and cause of any action in any court that I appear in. Is that not right, Your Honor? Okay, so what do you want to know? Well, what I'd like to know is this a civil or criminal action? It's a criminal action. Okay, well, thank you. Let the record show that the action being brought against the defendant is a criminal action. Now, sir, I have another question for you. The Constitution for the United States of America only grants this court two criminal jurisdictions. One is under the common law, and I know we're not operating under a common law. You don't have to tell me that. But the other constitutes a condition. Don't say that. No, don't say that. Don't make conclusions. Just say one is under the common law and the other constitutes a condition of contract under criminal aspects of a colorable admiralty jurisdiction. Now, sir, for the record, under which two of these jurisdictions is this court trying this criminal action? The reason that you're asking that question is letting them know that, look, okay, it's a cornering question. You can sit up there on that bench and act like you don't know what's going on, but now the Constitution constrains you. That's what it is. It's a restraint. It's handcuffs. So I'm pulling out the handcuffs on you, all right, because I am of the posterity. Okay, you're here to serve us, all right? We don't have no kings or queens in the United States of America. No one is above the law in the United States of America. Okay, so I got to get a couple of questions answered. All right, so what jurisdiction are you operating under? Now, we're here on, it looks like a civil matter because she owes a fine, okay? She had restitution of $4,500. She could come in with a W-9 and ask them for their EIN number because, look, I'd like to report this on my taxes. I'm paying y'all $4,900. That's income to the court. Let me report that. They'll try to say it's not. Okay, well, if it's not, well, let me just still see. I'll take it to my CPA and let them know. But until then, I need some information. These are things you can attack. Come in and attack the taxes on the court. You're going to get more leeway with that, with doing some taxes on this court case. All right. So all that name stuff and everything, don't get caught up in that because that's just a quick way to spiral out of control and end up in jail or something like that unnecessarily. All right. You can always fight if you're free. But if you get arrested for some bullshit like this right here, it's just going to be much more difficult for you. He's putting you in jail. It's really a contempt right here because you haven't paid it. It's not a charge. This is a contempt proceeding. She don't even need to say, present any argument. She don't even have to. She can just say, look, Your Honor, I didn't have the money to pay it. And then come back and hit him with or come in court and say like this, Your Honor, I have before this court a negotiable instrument. I'd like to satisfy this entire obligation, and I'd like to submit it to the registry of the court. Where do I need to submit this to? Well, what do you mean a promissory note? Well, I have a negotiable instrument, Your Honor, that I have drafted in accordance with Article 3 of the Uniform Commercial Code. And I'd like to tender this for offset and adjustment of this fine that I've been charged with? Well, we only take cash, check, or credit cards. Well, am I to understand the honorable judge is willfully violating public policy? For the record, sir. Because under public policy, you cannot require me to pay with cash, check, or credit card. You can't require me to pay in anything because there ain't no money. So that's just a little suggestion for you. Let's keep watching and see what's going on.
Agent Miller, feel free to send that up to my
Well,
office.
I
And I will
asked for
sign
it to
it.
be dismissed with prejudice. How y'all gonna sign a bench warrant and I'm sitting right here? I told y'all what my name was.
Phillips may be present, but the judge takes her refusal to properly identify herself as a failure to appear. Phillips continues talking as the court moves on to the next case.
Number 56, People versus Tyree
okay.
Pitts, 21535 FH.
They mad.
Honor, I'm trying to assistant prosecutor on behalf of the people.
I do not consent.
Riverside.
I do not consent.
And you have
I
no
do not
contact
consent.
with his.
Phillips dropped out of the hearing, and a bench warrant was issued for her 9 days later. It remains outstanding. Her non-payment hearing has been rescheduled. Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam. Subscribe to A&E to never miss a
Okay. You see the issue with that right there. Don't get caught in something like that. All right. When we're dealing with a fine or money, you can discharge that. That is the appropriate, because you performed. All right. By tendering them a negotiable instrument, you have, if you are under a contract, you performed under the contract. You'll never see a contract that requires you to pay in any particular species of currency, because they know that they can't do that. That's against public policy. Federal Reserve notes is not even money. That's a promise to pay. It's a promise to pay. They're promissory notes. It's a promise to pay. It's not payment. It's a promise to pay. It's only acceptable because it's easy to negotiate. You can negotiate them anywhere. So you need to understand all this before you go in there and you start all this name stuff and all this. And I know this is probably her first time and she's nervous and she's scared and she's going to make a mistake. But she's probably going to end up being very good at this, because it's people like that that end up being good because they had to spend a day in jail if they don't get upset by the fact and come in and say, well, that didn't work for me. Well, it didn't work for you because look what you did, quite frankly. But with the heart and things like that, she got the right heart. She need to channel the energy. And, you don't need to be talking in court. Like I did all that though in court, my first time, I told a judge, I told a federal magistrate, I said, say, man, you sitting up there on that bench acting like you don't know what's going on, but let me tell you what's going to happen. Every time I miss one of my children's birthdays, it's going to be $100 million. I'm threatening to put a lien on them and everything, and things like, I say, I'm really not into putting liens on judges, but I say every time I miss one of my children's birthday, it's going to be $100 million. But see, that came after they had already tried to break me and they seen they couldn't break me. They're going to take you through this breaking process to see if they can break you. They're not just going to go casually in the night, everybody come before them. They got to see what you made of first. You're going to go through a breaking process if it's your first time. You can expect that. Like we used to say back in the day, if you want to be a sovereign, you got to be willing to spend some time in jail. You can't be afraid to spend some time in jail. If you're afraid to go to jail, you don't need to be doing this. Just make sure if you do go to jail, it's not for something that's serious, that's going to take your life away. I don't never suggest dudes like if somebody got a serious case, and they looking at 10 years in prison and they come to me and they just found out about this yesterday and they got a court date next week. I'm not going to tell them to go in and do this. I'm not going to suggest that they do this. I'm like, because they could end up getting a lot more time than that. These people, I've seen people get taken to trial and get more time. And I know how that feels. I know how it feels if you're in prison and you're doing a 10-year sentence, but if you had taken a plea, you would have only did 3 years. By your 5th year, you're regretting not taking that plea. Like, God damn, I could have been home. See, these are things that as a person in my position, I got to think about. I have to take into consideration. I'm like, okay, man, I can't, I'm not going to suggest that you do this, man. I mean, like, take the plea. You don't know enough. You can't defend yourself. You're not swift enough with this information. What kind of plea deal is your attorney offering you? Okay, I think that might be good for you. Study while you're in jail, and then when you get out, try to get off probation or something like that. But I'm not going to suggest that, because they got it set up where if you fuck up and you go to trial, you're getting more time. None of this, what we're teaching, is designed for trial. None of it is designed for trial. Trial is solely the province of attorneys, because you're arguing a case, and we're not arguing anything. None of this is designed for argument. It's designed for agreements. Agreements. All right? Before you go to court, you should already have conducted an administrative process and put everybody on notice. These are things that you need to do, instead of like sideswiping somebody and things like that. So anyway, I got another one. Let's look at this next one.
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
Next, we're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where 22-year-old Ryan Desmith and 24-year-old Jordan Salmi are appearing on gun possession charges. 3 weeks earlier, the man attended a church Christmas pageant armed with loaded semi-automatic pistols. Desmith and Salmi are members of what's called the Hebrew Israelite community, along with former Green Bay Packer Kabir Baja Biamila, known as KGB. KGB was involved in a...
Okay, this right here is what threw me off. Right here. I think I didn't understand this. I know there's some Hebrew Israelites probably watching. Ain't these two white boys? I can't imagine. Now, just from what I know about the Hebrew Israelite organization, that's like a black person joining the Ku Klux Klan. It's like, what? Two white, so this don't even sound right what this man just said right off the rip. What he just said, these two are part of now I can see the brother, that played for the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, he's probably one, but I don't know if they were talking about these two white guys right here. They said they're members of I don't know who they were talking about, but I might have heard it wrong. I don't know, but I listened to it like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, are they saying those white boys members of the Hebrew Israelite organization? And, something just didn't sound right with all of this right here. But, I don't know, I'm just adding my 2 cents in it. Let's get back.
Dispute with his ex-wife over his religious objections to their children appearing in the pageant. He asked the men to film the event in his absence for evidence. Desmith and Salmi refused to leave when church leaders asked. Police arrived and charged them both with disorderly conduct, obstructing an officer, and carrying a concealed weapon. Today, they're at the Brown County Court for a first appearance on the charges. And they're not going to make things easy for County Court Commissioner Cynthia Vopal.
Did you get my notice?
Your notice, sir?
I'm not a sir. You can have a seat.
Have a seat, please.
The notice that Desmith asks about is one of a series of handwritten notes he and Salmi filed, which claim they're not part of the legal society and quote, idiots before the court. Their list of demands includes $300,000, no jail time, and various apologies and retractions. The commissioner moves on.
Do you plan on hiring an attorney?
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
Okay. I'm going to enter not guilty, please. on your behalf.
If you enter a plea on my behalf, you will be held fully liable.
And you will have these cases, we will be then sending this case upstairs.
Okay, that was good what he just said. Okay, and you see how their demeanor is? They have a no-nonsense demeanor. And they're going to try to downplay this, but you see how nervous that judge got? You could say something like this: Yana, will your bond withstand the commercial liability that's being entered into this courtroom today? They understand what that means. When you start understanding, when you start letting public servants know that you understand that they're bonded, that they're insured, and if they lose that insurance, they lose their job because you'll make a claim against their bond. That's powerful. Okay, so she paused for a second. Also, he let her know that I sent notices to you. And she said, what notices? She's acting like she don't know what he's talking about. That's why a lot of times it's good to send notices, certified mail with restricted endorsement. Restricted endorsement means that only that particular person is going to get it, is going to get the correspondence. And you come in with the green 3811 form, and then she say, what notice? The notice I sent to you, certified mail, here's the 3011 return receipt request that shows you did sign for it, so I know that you got it. So they say he made a list of demands. He wrote it, which was okay. Matter of fact, a lot of times that's more powerful to handwrite things. I don't know about the list of demands, but, making a demand, but, I don't see anything too much wrong with what they're saying right now. You got a no nonsense way of approaching this, and let's see what the results are.
Desmith's defiance and language are similar to courtroom strategies of the sovereign citizen movement, which claims that state courts hold no jurisdiction over them.
Who are you?
I am the court commissioner.
Okay, let's get something clear about this. Sovereign citizens don't believe that they are beholden to any law or over jurisdiction. Okay, let's get some clarification for the attorneys out there who are listening. A lot of people, you just weekend warriors, you may have found my channel by accident or whatever. So let's get something perfectly clear. What they're saying is this: if you've taken the time to read your Constitution, you will know, or use Google, you will know that there are Article 1 courts and Article 3 courts. We also have Article 2 courts, which are military courts, but they don't have anything to do with the civilians. But the civilians are subject to either Article 1 court, which is an administrative court, and Article 3 court, which is a true judiciary court. A true judiciary court. So when we're saying, we're not saying that we're not subject to any law. Statutes are not laws. I actually got a book here from a law professor where it states that, Gannon's Commercial Law, where it talks about that. All right, you keep calling it a law, but a statute is not a law. The law of the land is the Constitution for the United States of America, and contract makes the law. Statutes revolve around a certain jurisdiction of all the powers that have been delegated to the legislature, which are commercial in nature. And we find that under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. So under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, those are everything that they can adjudicate in an Article 1 court. So when we come in and ask the question, is this civil or criminal, and what jurisdiction are you operating under, that is what we're trying to determine. We're trying to determine, is this an Article 1 court or an Article 3 court? If we directly ask them if it's an Article 1 court or an Article 3 court, they'll hold us in contempt. I don't know why, but they'll threaten you with contempt for asking them, is this an Article 1 court or an Article 3 court? For asking that simple question. And if you don't believe me and you're somebody just sitting on the bench out there and you think this is some bullshit, the next time you find your ass in court, You go in there and ask them and see what happens and see whether or not you find your ass with a contempt charge. Because you might need a wake-up call. Because trust me, when you find out the truth, everybody who goes into court and sees what's going on, I know my first time I was in court and I was like, they really are doing this. I can't believe it. They really are deceiving everyone in the United States. And when you see how organized they are, you can understand how they're getting away with it, because it's a very controlled environment, extremely controlled. So it's easy to get the deception over on the American people. But the American people have a protection. It's called the Constitution. And it's the Sixth Amendment. And you have a right to know things, but you have to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, they have a right to presume that you don't want to know. Because ignorance of the law is no excuse. So they have a right to presume everything. They have a right to presume that you know all of this. They have a right to presume that you know it's a commercial court. They have a right to presume that you already know it's civil. They have a right to presume that you're a slave. They have a right to presume all of that. They don't consider themselves hiding anything because they publish everything. You done put on documents 1,000 times that you're a U.S. citizen. So the next thing we have to ask for the individuals out there is, what is a U.S. citizen? Well, there is a court case called Susan B. Anthony versus the United States that tells you very clearly and cogently that prior to the 14th Amendment, there was no such thing as a U.S. citizen. So now that we have a U.S. citizen, the question I'm going to pose to you is, can your public servants clothe you, an American citizen, with a citizenship? And and these are your public servants that come from, and they're supposed to be serving their constituency. How are they going to go up on Capitol Hill and give you a citizenship? They didn't. The 14th Amendment was to give citizenship to freed slaves. And the gays and everybody else in the world and hijacked it. So we can get into a discussion about that. So saying that we don't follow any law, the only real law is God's law. Now, I know some of you may be demons and you're Satanists and you're communists and you're Marxists and you're liberals, and you don't believe that because you believe in abortion, you believe in same-sex marriages, you believe in people can identify themselves as whatever they want. And some of you just straight out just say there's no such thing as God. And some of you are straight out saying that you're Satanist worshipers. That's what you're looking at. And you people out there who are followers of me, you better be acutely aware of that shit. See, because you don't understand what's going on in this country. Y'all need to go back and watch this show by Phil Donahue. Was it Phil Donahue? He had the, y'all can look on Google Procter & Gamble and 666 and go to Google Images and look at all the 666s on all of Procter & Gamble's products that they put forever. And they had him on a show, and he admitted, he said, we're not worried about hiding anything because we got more members than the Christian church does. There are 1 billion Christians in the world. There are 1.1 billion Christians in the world and 1 billion Muslims in the world. Has anybody took account of how many Satanists there are in the world? Because they are very, very, very bold. And I just, with all due respect, you Christians, y'all are like straight bitches. Y'all punks. Y'all religion got punked out. If you're a preacher looking at me, I'm telling you straight up, if you're not in your church preaching against this stuff, you're a bitch. You need to take yourself off. You need to step down. Because your religion is under attack. This ain't the time to be politically correct. You at war. When you go to war, all the gloves are off, baby. You scared of losing your YouTube channel? Or you can do this without losing your channel. Get you a website. Get you a membership. But you just allowing this to go on. This is what's happening, man. I'm trying to tell you. They doing all these sovereign citizen videos because this movement is growing so much. Let me tell you something. During the pandemic, my business tripled. I was almost like, I almost like, damn, I hate the pandemic is over with. My business tripled during the pandemic. And the reason for that, hold on. And the reason for that is because people were scared. They were seeing what was going on. Everybody wanted to do status correction. You know, they see what's coming. You know, and I hope y'all remember that the lockdown and all that was right after they started going, Trump was talking about cleaning the swamp. And they were talking about, you know, the child pedophile and Epstein Island and adrenochrome and all those things. They shut all that shit down. Let me tell you something. I had a whole bunch of stuff on my YouTube page about adrenochrome and Marxism and communism. They were coming through. They gave me 3 strikes just in 2 days like that. They went through every video on it. If I had anything on my page talking about that, they didn't give me no warnings or anything. They took my whole channel down. I had almost 80,000 subscribers. I just built this back up right now. But they took my whole entire channel down. They shutting you up, and then they made you put on masks. To me, the mask is symbolic of shut the fuck up. That's what the mask was, because that mask didn't stop anything. That man, Fauci, told you that. He said the mask is so you want, for all you people still wearing masks, you do understand, you can go and search this. Fauci has told you the mask is so you won't give anybody COVID. So if you're walking around with a mask on, thinking that, oh, you know, I'm trying to protect myself from all these infected people, you are a fucking idiot, and you look stupid as fuck. Because the mask is so your infected ass won't give something to me, not the other way around. You don't even watch the fucking news and see what these people are saying. It's just laughable. How you gave, and you could tell you godless, you just gave in to fear. You think God is going to create this planet and is going to let you die where you can't breathe the air? You that faithless. You got that much faith in what a man tells you that you can't go outside. I'm perfectly fine. I never put on a mask. And know that anybody else today. And all the people that didn't take the vaccination or do anything like that, they perfectly fine. It's the people in my family that took it. One is in the hospital. They all worried. They watching this video called Died Suddenly. If you haven't seen it yet, Died Suddenly. Where they showing all these clots. It was people that was dying left and right from blood clots, still dying from blood clots. They not putting it on the media or anything like that. Go watch the movie Died Suddenly. I think it's on Patreon or something like that. It's called Died Suddenly. Let me see if I can put it in the chat room. I'm going to put it in the chat room for you. It's on Rumble. It's on Rumble. Yeah, here it is right here. So I'm going to put it in the chat for you. So I put a link in the chat. Watch that. Send that to your loved ones. Send that video to your loved ones if you haven't watched it yet. That video right there is hardcore, boy. Yeah, let's get the likes up. Want to have like 200 likes? Let's get the likes up to 300. Let's get them up 300. I shouldn't have to be fighting for likes like this now. Let's get the likes up to 300 before I continue. We're going to continue with this right now. But y'all need to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? You also need to be aware that there are Satanists, and you have to understand what communism is and Marxism. All right, communism is the elimination of private property. Sovereignty is about private property rights. So if you go and research the Southern Poverty Law Center, the people who started with some Jewish people. And I don't mean to come out on the Jewish people, but everywhere I look, if this guy has anything to do with communism or Marxism, it's Jews behind it. Karl Marx was a Jew. So you get mad at me all you want to, but I'm going to tell my people the truth. They're the one who coined that phrase, sovereign citizen. And start looking at the people who are doing these videos. Check out the nationality. If it's an attorney or somebody like that, check out the nationality of the individual doing these sovereign citizen failed videos on the internet. Go and see if they liberals. I guarantee you every time they're liberal. It ain't no motherfucking conservatives doing that shit. I'm trying to tell you. So I'll put the link to Died Suddenly. I'm going to put it in there again. That is, if you have a loved one that took the vaccination, watch that video. I have friends who've had relatives die, just perfect health, just died. And then I asked them, I said, did they take the vaccine? They said, yeah. What did they have? They had a blood clot. 100% of the time. Somebody died on a motorcycle, just fell off the motorcycle. They were Airbnb guests of mine. Wife came and told me. I said, he take the vaccine? Yeah. I said, what happened? He had a blood clot. Blood clots. Go watch it. Also, there is a doctor who predicted this. This doctor was so fucking cold with it. I'm going to give you his link and listen to what this doctor said and tell me after you watch that video if what he said was the truth. Where is this at? It was, here he is right here. All right, so I'm gonna give you this right here too. This right here, this post is for that doctor giving y'all a warning. Listen to what this doctor said, and almost everything he said happened, but they're not publicizing. It's really interesting. Anyway, let's get back to this video. I just want to give y'all some backstory on this. These people doing these videos, you just got to watch how they, as they narrate the video, it's always to lean you toward them. They sounding crazy. But I was looking at this video right here with these guys. These guys right here wasn't playing. They was not playing with this judge. And this ain't even a judge. It's a damn commissioner. It's not even a judge. This is a commissioner. Now, you trying to tell me that a commissioner can sit in a court of law, in a judicial court? That's what y'all trying to tell me out there? This couldn't possibly be an Article 3 court or constitutional court or a court of law, a judicial court. You see, in the states and on the federal level, we have a legislative, executive, and judicial branch of government. The judiciary is supposed to be the one handling all this, but that's what we're saying. The judiciary is not handling this. We're not saying that we're not under any law. What we're saying is you're supposed to take us into a proper court that adjudicates law. These courts don't adjudicate law. That's what we're saying. So get it right and stop this bullshit narrative that you're spreading all over the internet. We got to get this shit right, man. You got to clean up this, man. Let's get back.
In charge of hearing this introductory hearing in the court.
Who are you? She just answered the question, sir.
So we don't have time for this. I have a courtroom full of people.
I'm not a sir.
The hearing ends when Desmith refuses to sign his bond paperwork.
Either sign this or we're gonna mark it as refused. I deny service. Okay, refused, and then you can leave. Okay, we're done here.
Goodbye.
On his way out, he fist bumps his supporters, including KGB, who was watching from the gallery. The court has even less time for Salmi's dissent, which lasts only 30 seconds.
For I, man Jordan Salmi, am in a state of man, now passing forthwith. I'm not a
me
respondent
take him
or
in.
defendant. You can leave. I'm asking you to leave. Is that an order? Leave, please.
5 months later, despite more disruptive court appearances, Desmith and Salmi's obstructing and disorderly charges were dismissed as part of a plea agreement. They were sentenced to 1 year of probation for carrying a concealed weapon and banned from owning firearms in that time. They also had to write letters of apology to officers at the scene of the incident.
Okay. Here's some more stuff that don't make any sense. It was dismissed, but they got probation. You see the type of shit that they say? It was dismissed, but you got probation. Now, I will say this. I did have a judge one time want me to apologize. And this is what I mean about being honorable and dishonor. You cannot dishonor police officers. You can't be out there talking to the police all crazy. You can't be talking to the judges crazy, and you can't be talking to the attorneys crazy. You have to be a gentleman and a lady in any interaction that you have with the public. This is a gentleman's game, and this is a lady's game. You're not supposed to be on the side of the road telling the police what an idiot he is. Sign the damn ticket UCC 1308 and take it up with the judge. That's not the place to be arguing with they done already told these officers you sovereign citizens and these motherfuckers is crazy. All you doing is taking a chance on getting shot dead, which has happened to a lot of people on the street. Why the fuck are you arguing with an officer when it is already known? I had friends, a police officer, they make sure that they don't have very high IQs. They don't want police having high IQs. They want people who follow directions. You sitting there arguing with the police on the side of the road. Sign the shit, UCC 1-308, and take it up with the judge. Arguing on the side of the road is going to kind of probably end up costing you more problem. You're not talking your way out of anything. But that didn't even make any sense. They dismissed it. But he got probation and had to apologize. I had a judge wanted me to apologize one time, though. I had a judge wanted me to apologize. I didn't get no charges or nothing, but he said, I drop everything, just apologize to me. And sometimes I apologize to him. I didn't like doing it, but hey, if that's all I got to do, I apologize. It was a thing where he told me to sit down. And that's what happened in this. This judge told him to sit down. When they tell you to sit down and start issuing you orders, that's them getting jurisdiction over you too. There is a urban legend, and I'll tell it to all of you, because a lot of people in this movement, especially back in the day when I was in it, we all knew this story. It was a story about a guy who went to court, and he did his thing in court, and the judge let him go, and he turned to walk out. And as he was walking out, I think he had some gum in his mouth. And the judge told him to take the gum out of his mouth, and he took the gum out of his mouth, and the judge told him, the bailiff, to arrest him. If you do anything that gives any type of that sends a message that you're under some sort of subject status, like all rise when the judge come in. If you locked up, don't ever rise for the judge. Don't rise for him. If you're free, stand outside the courtroom, and when he comes in, they say, all rise, look through the door, and then walk in after everybody sits down. These are some little tactics that you can use. But understand that, your actions speak louder than words. Your actions speak louder than words. So she told him to sit down, and he did it. There is a video on the internet by Dorothy Gale when the judge tells her to sit down. He said, "Can I sit down right here, Your Honor?" I'm going to go ahead and sit down. Every time he demanded her to do something, she would say, "Is it okay that I sit down right here, Your Honor?" You know, just doing things like that. There are ways. The questions is how you counteract their attempts to get jurisdiction over you, by counteracting it with a question, because they're always vague in what they're doing because they're operating under a presumption. All right, so let's get back to it.
Thanks for being a fan of CourtCam. Subscribe to A&E to never miss a new video and catch full episodes on aetv.com.
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
Next, we're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where 22-year-old Ryan Desmith and 24-year-old Jordan Salmi are appearing on gun possession charges. 3 weeks earlier, the men attended a church Christmas pageant armed with loaded semi-automatic pistols. Desmith and Salmi are members of what's called the Hebrew Israelite community, along with former Green Bay Packer Kabir Baja Biamila, known as KGB. KGB was involved in a dispute with his ex-wife over his religious objections to their children appearing in the pageant. He asked the men to film the event in his absence for evidence. Desmith and Salmi refused to leave when church leaders asked. Police arrived and charged them both with disorderly conduct, obstructing an officer, and carrying a concealed weapon. Today, they're at the Brown County Court for a first appearance on the charges. And they're not going to make things easy for County Court Commissioner Cynthia Vopal.
You get my notice?
Your notice, sir?
I'm not a sir. You can have a seat.
Have a seat, please.
The notice that Desmith asks about is one of a series of handwritten notes.
Okay, you can see right there where he gave her a notice, and she called him a sir. Sir meant, I forgot what, somebody tell me what sir means. That comes back from the old school too. I'm not a sir. When he called him sir, sir means, I forgot what sir means. It doesn't mean what you think it means either. That's why it means, I'm trying to remember what they said sir means. It has a different meaning other than what we think it is. But somebody, if you find it and put it in the chat, because I forgot, it's been so long ago about that sir. So when he said, well, I know sir comes from sire and all of that, but that's not one of the mean. I think you need to go into the etymology of the word and find out, go deep into it and see. But there's a reason he didn't want to be referred to as a sir. So he has, in my opinion, he's been doing this a while. He has some experience doing this. You can see how confident he was walking in. The only critique I really had of him is when he sat down, when she told him to sit down. But other than that, he got his case dismissed. And they're going to make it look like, oh, he didn't really win or anything like that. But they know what went on because it's a private matter. So there's always going to be a public spectacle. It ain't going to never look like you won in the public. So you can stop doing that. That's another people, they'll say, well, show me an example where somebody won. Fool, you think they going to publicly admit any of this? You got to be the biggest fucking idiot. If you're an attorney, you saying that shit, shut the fuck up. You got to be the biggest idiot ever. What we're talking about, this is a secret. This is called the occult world of commerce. This is crazy. Let's get back.
He and Salmi filed, which claimed they're not part of the legal society and quote, idiots before the court. Their list of demands includes $300,000, no jail time, and various apologies and retractions. The commission.
The reason for the amounts is you have to formally invoice them for an amount, okay, as well as the fact they said they weren't idiots before the court is because to get an attorney, you're looked at as an incompetent. And what they're doing is they're letting the courts know that I'm more than competent enough to handle my own commercial affairs. This is the reason for that paperwork. For all of you people who don't understand what it is that they're doing. And they hand wrote everything. These guys right here, they are kind of advanced. They're a little bit more advanced than some of the normal people that I look at.
Commissioner moves on.
Do you plan on hiring an attorney?
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
Okay. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf.
If you enter a plea on my behalf, you will be held fully liable.
And you will have these cases, we will be then sending this.
Y'all see how she started stumbling over her words? See, they'll try to narrate that out. But I'm sitting here telling you, if you tell a judge, Your Honor, because how you going to enter a plea for me? Then you must going to be taking on the liability. Your Honor, will your bond withstand the commercial liability? Now, what he should done is, you don't be aggressive like that. You can say, Your Honor, I'll be more than happy to enter a plea into the record before this court. But before I do, it is my understanding that I have a constitution, and this is a commissioner too, so you know you can use it on him. She don't know shit. A lot of times people sitting on the bench, they don't know nothing because they're an administrator. They going out of a playbook. An administrator does what they're told to do. Now, if you're an attorney, you're watching this, do you want to challenge me on that? The difference between an administrative judge and a judicial judge from an Article III court and an Article I judge? You really want to go there? Do you really want to admit that these are administrators? They're not real judges. Even though they have the title judge, they're not judges. They got plenty. I've read plenty of law reviews where they discuss this from Harvard and Yale and, Yale law reviews and Harvard law reviews where y'all have these discussions all the time. I know you studied it in college. Don't try to act like you did. You haven't. I know you understand delegation of powers doctrine. Why y'all trying to make us look crazy? We don't have a right to ask a question? Is that what you're telling? If I don't have a right to ask a question, what's the purpose of the Sixth Amendment? Oh, you gonna tell me what the nature of it is. No, I want clarification. You gonna tell me what it is. I'm gonna ask you what it is. And you're gonna tell me. Or I'm going to file a claim against you, or you're going to have some fines that you're going to pay. And that's what he's letting her know. So what he's letting her know is you are fully liable. Will your bond withstand the commercial liability that's being entered into this courtroom today, Your Honor?
Case upstairs.
Desmith's defiance and language are similar to courtroom strategies of the sovereign citizen movement, which claims that state courts hold no jurisdiction over them.
Who are you?
I am the court commissioner. I'm in charge of hearing this introductory hearing in the court.
Who are you? She just answered the question, sir.
So we don't have time for this. I have a court.
Okay, you see how somebody somewhere in the courtroom says she already answered that? You have to address that too. You look at, sir, do you have a claim against me? What is your name? What are you speaking to the judge? You're not talking to him. So if anybody speaks, anybody else comes in, your response is, I'm sorry, sir, do you have a claim against me? Could you please enter your name? When you asking a public servant for their name, what you're doing is, I need your name so I can put it in the commercial registry to file a claim against it. Watch how fast they shut up. Ain't nobody supposed to be talking. Sir, she already said it. Sir, I'm sorry, sir. Do you have a claim against me? I did that one time. Guy just came in out of nowhere, started talking on my case to the judge. I said, sir, do you have a claim against me? He ran off, started running off. Are you a party to this case? Talking about, sir, she already answered that. I'm not talking to you. For the record. Are we on the record? That's when you start saying, I'm sorry, are we on the record, Anna? Who is he? Is he a party to these proceedings? Sir, would you please state your name for the record? Do you have a claim against me? Do you know anyone who does have a claim against me? Why are we talking about claims? Because we're talking about charges, and charges are liens. A charge is a claim. Look it up in a Black's Law Dictionary. Some attorney is saying, oh, this is bullshit. He doesn't know what the fuck he's, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Or you do know what I'm talking about, and you right now, you just like shaking a little bit, but you don't fucking know. I've been done with 1,000 of you attorneys. Trust me on this. Most of you don't even know, because all you do is you're just high-paid negotiators. All you do is just take somebody's money and then give them negotiate a plea deal for them. That's what 98% of you do. You don't practice any law. Come on, man. You might do so in like some ambulance chases or negotiating some contracts or something like that. But in criminal and that foreclosure arena, come on. Let's get back.
Room full of people.
I'm not a servant.
The hearing ends when Desmith refuses to sign his bond paperwork.
Either sign this or we're gonna mark it as refused. I deny service. Okay. Refused, and then you can leave. Okay, we're done here.
Goodbye.
On his way out, he fist bumps his supporters, including KGB, who was watching from the...
This is very important. Okay, signing paperwork. I'm going to offer some advice for somebody who gets arrested. When you get arrested, don't sign anything. Don't sign anything. They'll try to get, that was a show, how he just told him, that was a bond paperwork. He didn't sign it. He told him get up and go. Do y'all not see what's right there in front of your eyes? What's going on? They trying their best to narrate it. He's fucking up narrating it. He calling them Hebrew Israelites and all kind. He's fucking know, but the average person looking don't know that. They can't see what's going on. I only got $15? Man, this is a fire ass class I'm doing. And y'all only gave me $15? $15. $15. $15. $15. Let me pause it real quick. Let me just pause. Let me see how far we can go up. Let's see, can we get to $100? Let's see if we can get to $100. Something. Let's just see. $15? And I'm just giving y'all all this energy? And y'all ain't giving me nothing back but some emojis and some hearts and shit, you know? I'm a capitalist. I don't hide that fact. I'm a capitalist. So, can we do something? You got 500 people and y'all doing $15? I got some cheap ass listeners. I be going to other people's podcasts. They be getting all kind of money and everything. I'm over here on my podcast, throwing my heart. Thank you for the $5, the Geek Surgeon. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much, Greek Surgeon. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. $9.99. Okay, we got some people. John Lewis, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate the 20 bones. We got right here. $9.99. Big L, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. 20 bones. John Lewis, appreciate that. Got a Fred. But I can't pronounce that last name though. But appreciate the 20 bones, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. There you go. Show me some love. Two-Way the God TV. I appreciate the 10 bones, bro. Mel, thank you, bro, for the $4.99. I appreciate that. Greek Surgeon, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm cool now. I can go. I can go on now. We can keep it moving. I appreciate that. All right, that's all you gotta do. Show a little love. You just, say just put a little lubricant on it, grease it up a little bit, Go. All right, let's keep going. All right, so where were we? Oh yeah, we watching these guys in court. This is a pretty good video. This was short, but it was good. That's why I had to do two of them today to kind of compare, to juxtapose the two. And as I've always said, I have the utmost respect for anyone who attempts to do this. You're going to make mistakes. It's just like the jump in the movie The Matrix. No one makes the jump the first time. Don't be hard on yourself, or anything like that. Don't be hard on yourself. Keep studying. Understand what you did. There are going to be times you're going to go back and look at what you did, and you're going to know the mistakes that you made. You're going to know the mistakes that you made, and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. But these guys right here did a very good job. They did a good job. Let's keep watching it.
The gallery. The court has even less time for Salmi's dissent, which lasts only 30 seconds.
For I, man Jordan Salmi, am in a state of man, now past and forthwith. I'm not a respondent
take him
or
in.
defendant. You can leave. I'm asking you to leave. Is that an order? Leave, please.
5 months later, despite more disruptive court appearances, Desmith and Salmi's obstructing and disorderly charges were dismissed as part of a plea agreement. They were sentenced to 1 year of probation for carrying a concealed weapon and banned from owning firearms in that time. They also had to write letters of apology to officers at the scene of the incident. Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam. Subscribe to A&E to never miss a new video and catch full episodes on aetv.com.
Okay. So I see what they said. They said that they dropped the 2 charges and they gave them the concealed weapon charge, gave them a year probation. All right. I don't know exactly what the details with that are. However, when you read creditors and their bonds, what you're going to have to understand is that you're not always going to get a dismissal. You're going to have to do something for the public spectacle. It's always going to be like that. And I tell people to read these documents and they don't read them. I'm putting together a course on SPC University so you can understand how to do these type of processes. What these guys did were very good. I'd be interested in really looking at this case and seeing exactly what really went on. But you could see how they were acting in court. When he told that judge that she was going to be liable, that right there, the look on her face should have told you everything you needed to know. First of all, she's not a judge. She's a commissioner. That lets you know the charges wasn't that serious, too. It was a commissioner. She's a commissioner. You know, she's not even a judicial officer like that. So, FYI. Anyway. With that being said, thank you for your, dang, man, appreciate that. Camille Lede, appreciate the 100 bones. Appreciate that 100 bones. Alicia Mar-E, thank you for the 1999. Angel Baby is awake. Welcome to Neophyte. I appreciate that. Thank you. Arthur Falling, I appreciate $20 bone. Mercedes Ramon, appreciate that, bruh. Balance Family, thank you for the $4.99. Appreciate that. DeMarco Story, appreciate the 50 bones, bruh. Fred, okay, and I got her back up there again. I appreciate that. Wow, I appreciate that, man. Well, y'all really shut me up. Y'all shut me up. You know, James Burgess, appreciate the $20. Alitas Nassis, appreciate the 2 bones. Kamal Lede, 100 bones, appreciate that, Doc. I appreciate that, man. Y'all make me gleam with joy. All right, we're going to do some more of these. We're going to do some more. I like doing this. Y'all like this? I like doing this. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the donations. Wow. Number went up substantially. Went up substantially. I appreciate it. Got 565 people in here tonight. I'm going to take some time to field a couple of questions in the chat before I go today. I'll answer a couple of questions. If you got a question you want to put up, I'll take time to answer. Well, I'm going to do it like this. This is how I'm going to do it. If you want a question, a super chat, and all of that, those are the questions that get answered. That you put $1 or $5, something like that, and a super chat. Those are the questions I'm answering. The highlighted questions. So if you have a question, put it in that. And why would I do that? Because that let me know you really want your question answered. Peace to the gods, him learning. Appreciate that. Shamarayu Ben Israel, $20. Thank you. I don't know if I butchered your name, bro. I apologize. Shalom. But thank you for the 20 bones, bro. Who got questions? Oh, let me make an announcement while y'all getting y'all questions together. I'm back doing consultations. All right. The consultations is on the website. You can already see my calendar is already full. Don't ask me about consultations. You have to go to my website and put in your request for a consultation. It's right there soon on the front page. You do not have to be a member. It's $350 an hour for a consultation. All right. And now you'll understand why, because you wonder, well, why you charge? When you see all the people that want consultations, you'll begin to understand why. You're going to see it as soon as you get off. I just put up the consultation calendar yesterday. And I think the month is already full. So, FYI. You asked one earlier, Big L. I didn't see your question. Peace to the gods. What was your question? Just type it again, Big L. Just type it again. Type it again, Big L. I didn't. Why you didn't type it right there? Why you said I asked it earlier? You should just typed it in right there and said I asked it earlier. Type it in, you know. Say you asked it earlier. Somebody said, I'm literally homeless. Let me answer this. Somebody says, I'm literally homeless, listening to this and couldn't get $5 from my people today, but money just floats right to this guy. And you know why? You know why? Because I paid a price. I went and spent 31 months locked up and studied every day from sun up to sundown. I went to court and helped people. I was on the news. I got arrested. I went through all kind of things to get in this position right here. And I was also homeless too. I was homeless for a little while. As a matter of fact, I slept in, I used to sleep in my old apartment's clubhouse. I would sneak in the clubhouse late at night, wake up early in the morning and go take a shower at LA Fitness. So welcome to the club. But if you're a man and you're expecting someone to feel sorry for you, what I would suggest that you do is go and listen to Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command, because you are not a victim, okay? You need to pull yourself out of that mire of despair and negativity that you're in and immerse yourself in negativity and positive thought and start directing your thoughts on where you want to go and where you want to be, because your current situation is not an indicator of where you will be. You should be celebrating people's success. Go also listen to Reverend Ike. All right, so what we got? You're welcome. The geeks are, how do I study this info? It gets overwhelming. Good question. How do you study this info? Start by reading, okay? Start by, I'm gonna tell you what I did. What I did was, the first two documents I read were a document called Creditors and Their Bonds and Dealing with Presentments. I had a natural propensity to understand a lot of things, but there still was a lot of stuff I didn't understand. And one thing that kept being reiterated to me in reading the material is the words in law don't have the same meaning as they do in everyday parlance. So I made it my mission to get my vocabulary together first. So I spent the first 6 weeks just studying words. I spent a lot of time in a Black's Law dictionary. Truthfully, if you want me to tell you the truth, that is where you really should start. And just every day looking up a word in the Black's Law dictionary, and you'll run across a word you really like. And what I'll do is I'll write it on a flashcard, turn it over, write the definition by hand on the back until I had a stack about this big, and I would get up every morning to just read through them. The repetition of reading through them every morning, I wasn't trying to memorize them word for word, but just reading them so much that when I saw the word, I just automatically knew what it meant. So start with vocabulary, because this is a language that you have to learn, so you got to learn the words. So start there. I have a video on here called Top 10 Documents for you to read, and also How I Started. I have a video on this channel. It's called How I Started. Go and watch that video as well if you're new. I give y'all the same stuff, exactly the same thing I started with. I can't tell you anything but the pathway. If I had to do something different, I would have studied trust in the beginning. If you study trust, a lot of stuff becomes clear real quick to you. If you study trust. Okay, George Torado, thank you for the $9.99. It says, before going through the SBC process, must the trust be established? If so, doesn't SBC have trust template? I purchased lifetime membership and completed 21 days of trust and take the SBC course. Okay, it's called a UCC contract trust. One of the principles of trust is a trust can be a trust without calling it a trust. Okay, you have resultant trust, you have constructive trust, you have express trust, you have implied trust. You have different type of trust. You are establishing a trust agreement when you do the SPC process. Okay, the Secretary of Treasury is fiduciary. The indenture agreement is on the bond. So when you give that to the Secretary of Treasury, you are creating a trust arrangement. So no, you don't have to have a trust set up or anything like that. That is another reason why I said when you study trust, go back and read the indenture agreement. I mean the bond. You can see these call it fiduciary. That's what a trustee has, a fiduciary duty. The indenture agreement is the bond order that you're reading. It's telling him if he chooses to retain this bond, what are the duties that are going to be expected of him? So that's another thing you got to learn, is that a trust doesn't have to be called a trust to be a trust. A trust arrangement, something can be construed as a trust very easily. It's around you every day. That's something that you have to learn. Let's look at King. It's funny when you ask for a public servant's name, it's like when you know the name of a demon to cast them back to hell. Well, you know, you got to be careful in asking them their name, because if you ask them their name and they say Judge so-and-so, that's not a name, that's a title. So if I asked a judge for their name, I said, Your Honor, would you please state your name for the record? And they said, Judge so-and-so. I would say, your offer of communication is accepted for value and your dishonor is returned. Would you please state your name and not your title? If they do say, well, my name is Judge so-and-so, will you say, well, is that Judge so-and-so the same judge so-and-so that's registered with the Secretary of State? Because when you go down to the Secretary of State's office and get their bond, because that's who has them, and read it, it doesn't say Judge so-and-so on there, it just has their name. The reason you need their name is something that can be put in a commercial registry. When they say Judge so-and-so, they're operating under their immunity, because they're an administrator, they're operating under immunity. And you're trying, like he said, I don't talk man to man. Dude said it in that video, I only talk man to man. He's letting them know I'm not here to talk to a fiction. I'm a real living soul. It was kind of nice what they were doing. They were kind of nice with it. Somebody strange, but he said, aren't you the least bit ashamed of the meaningless word salad you're ripping off the people for? Well, I mean, I spent 10 years in this. If I haven't learned anything in 10 years, I have to be a bumbling idiot. I think that there are some extremely intelligent people who listen to me, and you don't have the courage enough to say that under a real profile. So are you calling everybody on here an idiot? So you're the smartest person in the chat, and all these other 529 people are stupid for listening to me, and you're the only one that is intelligent. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Stranger Brother? Are you insulting all the other people in the chat? Are you saying that, I have millionaires and a lot of people that follow me, some very extremely intelligent people that I talk to, doctors and all kind of stuff. Are you saying that even attorneys and judges listen to me? So are you saying that they are stupid and you're the only one that is perceptive enough to see that I am deceiving the people? You're the smartest person in the room. Is that what you're saying? I'm going to wait for your answer. I'm really interested in hearing your answer. I'm just really interested in hearing your answer. Okay, so yes, you are the smart. Okay, so I want everybody in the chat to look. He just insulted all of y'all, some stupid asses, for listening to me. This guy is the most intelligent person that is in the chat right now. He is so intelligent that he's able to decipher the deception that I'm casting against you, this meaningless word salad that I have, that I'm giving to all of you, and he is the only person that is intelligent enough to perceive it. I would venture to say that you is the stupidest motherfucker in the chat room. That's what I'm going to say. And you also a bitch, because you a coward, because you won't say the shit in a real profile, bitch ass motherfucker. Bitch. Pull your panties out your ass. You mad? at all that money they're giving him. Man, this ain't nothing but a couple of $100, man. You mad over that? You mad over that? You know, it's $360. You mad because they donated me $360? You mad about that? You mad? I done deceived people out of $360. You pissed off. You was a petty motherfucker. Do you have a woman? Is you one of them incels that they talking about? Is you sitting around in front of a computer screen jacking off? Do you like little boys? You must like little boys. Where is he at? Where is he at? You like little boys. You want them done that incel. I had to learn that new word right there. Is that some word salad? Incel. I didn't know what the fucking incel was. I was like, what is an incel? These women were saying that he's an incel. He's an incel. So you seem to me, I'm gonna tell you, dude, what you seem like to me. Okay. I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. All right. You seem like a guy that don't get no pussy. I'm gonna be straight up because when dudes be, the only person that criticizes and hates on a person is a person not doing as well as that person. You never see people above a person criticizing the person that's under them. So you're letting me know that I'm greater than you off the rip. And I didn't got something that got in your feelings about, you mad about $360. You're mad that I made a statement and I went from $15 to $360 in less than 5 minutes. That will piss a people. I can understand why that would piss you off, but this is what you should understand. All right. I got a video on here called The Science of Getting Rich. And what you have to understand is money don't make the man makes the money. If you are in some type of financial difficulty, you need to change your thinking. You need to change your thinking. It's very effeminate for a man to even mention, I'm going to tell you something my granddaddy did for me. This is the benefit of having a man in your life. When I was a little boy, I was in Mott's in Turl, Texas. We were in Mott's. I remember exactly where I was. And my granddaddy, he would always take me there to buy comic books and things like that because I was a big comic book collector. And we were standing in line to pay for whatever I had at that time. It was probably some comic books. And the man in front of me was paying for his whatever he had. And he opened up his wallet. And I don't know why, when he opened up his wallet, as a little boy, I just went and looked and tried to look in his wallet. And my granddaddy was an easygoing, he never raised his voice, never got upset. To see this man upset was very unusual. And he started berating me. He said, stop that. He said, don't you ever look in another man's wallet. And I can see that some men out there have not had the benefit of masculine guidance, because you should never be worried about another man's pocket. That is very effeminate, and it's some bitch shit. I never worried about another man's pocket. From that day forward, I never worried about what another man had. All I looked at is, if they had it, that means I can get it. And if you're not operating from that position, you're not very masculine, because the masculine principle is active and the feminine principle is passive. And what that means is, when you allow things to affect you, you are effeminate. We used to say it in the hood, man, you let that nigga get in your chest. That nigga got in your chest, fucking with your head. I'm just saying. All right, let's go. I had to just get that out. Let's go. All right, wait, let's say truth to the heart, peace, God. Thank you, Isaac William Bay. can't, listen, man, let me tell y'all something. You can't worry about trolls. You know, when I remember when I first got into this, and it's funny, I don't understand why the trolls don't know this. I've been doing this 10 years. I mean, I already went through that little process where the trolls were affecting me. You'll get to a process where the trolls affect you, but then you're going to understand that the trolls are actually your best friend. They're your biggest fans, and they actually help you grow. Like when they make other videos about you, you know, like 50 Cent said this about Jay-Z. He said, you know, when 50 Cent first came out, he made that song about robbing all the other rappers. And so Jay-Z was one of the rappers that he named in the song. So Jay-Z was in a concert in front of thousands of people, and it kind of pissed him off. And he said to the crowd, who the fuck is a 50 Cent? And 50 Cent said, I thank Jay-Z to this day for that. Because that concept is true. Some people come at you because they want you to blow them up because they don't have a platform. And just by you mentioning their name, it will blow them up. So, but while they're mentioning you, what they don't understand is they making people curious, and people come and they say, okay, well, who is this guy he's talking about? And they come over here and say, well, I don't think this guy is what you're saying, you know, because they got their own intelligence and things like that. So they bring traffic to you. So you got to understand that usually trolls are like your street team. They're like your street team. It's like they promoting you. They're like promoters, you know what I'm saying? So they hate, but the hatred is basically them admitting that you're better than them. Because when you hate somebody, it's just an internal admittance, this guy's better than me. They got it just in them. Like somebody just said, ask them this question. You'll see it in the comments section. They just seething with disdain and hatred. And it's like, it's a negative emotion. They can't never benefit from that. It's the dark side. It's giving themselves to the dark side. So whatever is going on in their life is just them. It's like, it's really not me, it's them. You know, it's something not right with their life. And they just exuding that hatred out. And some of them have an agenda, like their agenda, like the Sovereign Citizen Fail videos, that's an agenda. That's an agenda. It's to quell this thing that they seeing that's rising. Because if it wasn't rising, they would have no need to address it if it was insignificant. Just like with the filing of a UCC-1. If a UCC-1 filing is nothing, it doesn't have any basis in law and fact, why do you care? Take out $20, let us file it and get the fuck on. The only name on it is mine. Why you care? You generating income for the state. Just saying. Let's see what we got right here. Let's see. All right, thank you, William Isaac Bay, Truth to Light. I appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Go back and watch this again and again and again. And that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow, same time. And I'm doing consultations, and I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll have another discussion about another video. I'll pull up some more videos and we'll do some reviews. I might turn on the phone next time so we can call in. I think I'll take some call-ins tomorrow so I can call in and I can talk to y'all directly tomorrow, okay? I'll set up the phone line and y'all can call in tomorrow, okay? Peace to the gods. I'll see y'all on the next live. See you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. Peace. I'm out.